Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Reetz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. I do believe you've all seen the lineup. Let's hear your concerns. Let's hear your thoughts on Maresca's selection for today's game. It's another home game against the reigning current champions of the Premier League. Whether we get a win today, let's hear your thoughts. What do you make of the manager's lineup if you've already seen it? Once again, I'll ask the question, do you think the manager, do you think would be better off starting certain players in certain positions? I have my opinion already, but we'll get to that. And before we get to discussing the lineup proper, we'll look at all the results, how things are going currently. The games are still on. You could say, I think it'd be right to phrase it this way: our enemies are doing well. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. This is the what is this week 6 or also 7 at most. But we'll see. If we win, great for us. But we need to win at this game to cut the gap for some and then leapfrog some. United are winning. They go above us, not looking good. Going above us doesn't mean it doesn't look good. We can still win at today and go above them. It's really that simple. If we don't win it, then yeah, it becomes an issue. It becomes even more difficult to get into top 4 because it looks like they're looking better and better by after each game. Cole Palmer, nice to see you. Namai Fowler, I think you're doing well. Hi, guys. A charity club helping teams in crisis. Liverpool is in crisis, but still good enough to hurt Chelsea. Charity FC, well and truly in existence, as I used to say. But let's see what happens. I hope we win. Double tap, get the likes up. Vic, my bro, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. I feel so much better and strong, well rested, and we go again at it. Yeah, hopefully. Again, I wouldn't say that that'd be the end of it, but maybe next time when I get cold, I take it seriously, get enough rest to heal properly, and not you could say um, run the run the vehicle until the tires all fall off, like I did during the transfer window. But I'm happy, much better. Your thoughts on the lineup? Let's hear you. But before we do that, while I wait to hear what you have to say with regards to the manager's selection for the game, it's important to look at how our enemies did. One of our enemies did in Tottenham. They won away against Leeds United by 2-1. I think they were trailing. When I first looked, they were trailing by a goal, but they ended up winning. So yeah, good for them. And then we have Arsenal beating West Ham United by 2-0. The first goal was scored by uh, Declan Rice. I didn't check to see who scored the second for them. And then Manchester United, they're winning by 2-0. Mason Mount scored the first goal for them today. Correct me if I'm wrong. When I checked, that was the case. Well, they winning 2-0, not bad. Then I think how many games left for the day? In the Premier League. Give me a second here. Let's see. That's it for the Premier League. How many games today? 1, 2, 3, 4 games today. So also the last game for the day. I don't think we have any other game today. Yeah, none. It's just us. Yeah, we played the last game for today. So we have to win. In some cases to reduce the cap. In some cases, yeah. Um, Yeah, for Manchester United, if we win, we leapfrog them. If we draw, we still stay below them. With leapfrog, I would say no, we cannot. Even Sunderland are in sixth position. How is that possible? They lost it. Okay, wow. Crystal Palace 12th. Yeah, so we still be outside of outside of the top 5. But yeah, it's still 7 games into the season. But yeah, we should be winning games so it doesn't get worse. Let's see. Big up, Romeo Lavia. Nice to see you, Ivy. I do hope you're doing well. Probably the manager doesn't want to risk too much. Okay, as you know, the lineup is out. Let's hear your thoughts. How many defenders here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's on papers. We don't have again Josh Archibald's inexperience. Probably one of the reasons why we have six, because there are 6 defensive players on the pitch. Yeah, I don't think if we had Trevor Chalobah, not because he's suspended, I don't think if we had him that would still see Reece James in the midfield area. So yeah, I think to not necessarily to make up for the lack of experience in that defensive line. And yeah, I get it. Benwa Badiashile, he had a good game the last time out, but there's no guarantee he'd perform at the same level today until proven otherwise. Because yeah, we've been there before. One game he's John Terry. The next one, he's one of the worst. He's one of the worst defenders in the world. But let's see what happens. I think with a good protection from Moises Caicedo and Reece James, I think yeah, that if they do well, you could argue that reduces the risk we face for lack of experience in our defensive, in our central area of our defensive line. But yeah, Josh Archibong, the last time when he played, was it the last time? The game before the last one, he looked very shaky, looked off, probably because yeah, he hadn't played for a while before that particular game, and had to come on. I think he was brought on. Yeah, he was brought on and was shaky, and I don't blame him. It was after we had considered the red card, and the opposition, I think it was Brighton, they were all over us, and we weren't able to deal with the pressure. Because yeah, we didn't have players in our defensive line capable of doing that. And Maresca did make a few mistakes, one mistake at least on that day. And Fazid Ali says we're getting slapped, mate. I'm ready. Thank God for international break. I mean, I don't blame you to see it like that. But here's the thing: something that always gives me hope whenever I hear our fans. Again, we usually perform when the odds are against us. Whether that be the case today, I don't know. But one thing I'm sure under Enzo Maresca, slapping Chelsea, as long as let me just you can say be cautious with how I frame that. As long as we're playing, let's say 11 against 11, I think we'll be all right. But if we get a red card, I, in all honesty, I get it. He said he's learned from this mistake, but until proven otherwise, I'm concerned, really. But that's by the way, when a lot of people don't give us a chance, when the world don't give us a chance, we usually do well. But in this case, it's difficult to say whether that be the case today. But we'll see. The game is played over 90 minutes plus at a time. You just cannot script football. And if you tell me, I give you again a prime example would be our game against PSG in the Club World Cup final. I'm quite sure majority of Chelsea fans didn't give us a chance. Yep. And what happened? We ended up slapping the opposition. So let's see. We watch the game and see how it pans out. So the lineup, I'm quite sure you've seen it. We have 6 defensive players on the pitch, and my opinion of why that's the case is because the manager wants, you could say, he wants a balanced starting 11 defensively and offensively. I think it'd be correct to phrase it that way. Because we have Josh Archibong here. He needs a proper protection. Otherwise, if their opposition's pressure us enough, he'd make silly mistakes because, yeah, he's inexperienced and probably because, yeah, he wasn't before the last game he started or before, again, the game before the last game we played, he was ill. So, but let's see. Let's say all this money spent in 2 goalkeepers on the bench. I think probably let's be honest. If we don't have again as many injuries as we have right now, I don't think we'll be complaining about the squad balance. I think with had it not been for the injuries we have, I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, but I'm just trying to make sense of the situation, and that's me. That's how I like to operate. Had it not been for the injuries we have right now, I don't think we'd be complaining that much. If all our players are fit, I think we'd have the luxury to give the new signings the time they need to learn the way the manager, because we have an idealistic manager, which means newcomers, usually it takes them a while to get to understand how the manager likes to operate. So, yeah, if we had all our players fit, and then we'd have the luxury to ease them in gradually and not, you could say, fill them when they aren't ready to operate the way the manager wants them to operate on the pitch. But I get it. If you looking back, I was thinking. I think I've taken my time to actually think about it. Maybe we didn't go into the market. We didn't prioritize our purchases. At the same time, if you look at how many defenders we have, you'd say, okay, we didn't really need a center back if you believe they're good enough. So it's a difficult situation. It's not one you can just go off the bat and say, yeah, this is the reason that you believe why we made mistakes in terms of the signings we made. But if the signings, again, if new signings, if they start firing on all cylinders, you'd still look at it and say, okay, maybe we knew exactly what we're doing. And the other day that Yora had to start it at center back, I get it. The application is a bit different. You'd see maybe that was probably one of the reasons why we didn't go into the market for another centre back. Plus, there are other reasons. For instance, the restrictions. We had issues with UEFA, and we weren't allowed to sign that many players. Otherwise, we'd end up not being able to register them for the competition. We want them to play for us. But that's why, let's see. IB here says, realistically, we are undermined in this game. But what are you looking for? What are you looking for us to take away from this match? A full game with all 11, us pushing Liverpool to the limit, or just not conceding 3 goals. We can get a win. You can get a win. And I think it makes sense to actually argue Maresca, I think, given the lack of experience in our defensive line, and yeah, you could argue it makes sense to start 6 defensive players and playing. You could argue, playing in the central 2-6, starting Reece James and Moises Caicedo there to ensure we have proper protection for that inexperienced line. If we can start, if we start defending properly from the midfield area, I think we'll be all right. Liverpool, they've not been. You could say they have a very on paper they have a very potent front line, but on the pitch they've struggled to you could say to assert themselves, or maybe to prove that truly they are potent. You could argue that's down to lack of proper chemistry between the team, or maybe the lacking in confidence. I can't quite lay my hands on what I think or what I believe the reason is, but they haven't. You could say they've not been efficient in front of goal. They've created good enough chances, but they found it difficult to put away. You could say a large portion of the chances they've created so far. Hato, Gatens, Estevao, and Bonanote, that's the bench. Only one player is useful on the bench. Yeah, you could argue the squad isn't balanced, which was why I said maybe we didn't go into the market. Again, we didn't prioritize our purchases, maybe, but at the same time, if all our players, if all our players are fit enough to start, maybe we wouldn't even be talking about how balanced or unbalanced our squad is. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I wouldn't argue against anybody saying, yeah, we're struggling right now because we have too many injuries. I mean, it's a sensible argument to present, in my opinion. But that's by the way, the 2 6s there, Reece James and Moises Caicedo. I think, given the personnel, I don't think we'll see 2 10s, you could say, positioned to exploit the pockets there. I don't see that happening. Again, Maresca, if you, in all honesty, he's proven to be what's the language I'm looking term, or how do I phrase this correctly? He's proven to be predictably unpredictable in terms of application. But I don't see us playing with 2 number 10s here. I think probably the application will be mainly a traditional approach. Not too sure. I'm just speculating here. In terms of how we apply ourselves during games, it's been very difficult to say, we do it consistently in a particular manner. That hasn't been the case. It's been very fluid. He's changed quite a lot. That's why when I hear people say he's a one-trick pony, I laugh at them. Let's see here. We have Bonanote. I should have started instead of Enzo. No. Enzo brings balance, irrespective of whether you think he's been performing or not. He brings good balance. I get it. Even the way he crashes the box, or you could say, in general, how Maresca utilizes the skill set of Enzo Fernandez. The fact remains he is good at helping us control games, slowing down the tempo, up in the tempo, and he's still an excellent passer of the ball, a deep line playmaker. He has that in him, but he's added a lot more to his game since the arrival of Enzo Maresca. But the point is, starting Bonanote, I don't think it make any sort of sense. You will see some, you could say, excellent interplays, dribbles, and all that. but we will lose a lot. We will lose a lot if we don't have Enzo Fernandez on the pitch in this game. I think Liverpool will just walk over our midfield. So we're better off having Enzo Fernandez on the pitch to have to help us. You could say uh, to help us control, to help us. You could say control the game as we want. Because in his absence, it's not going to be easy, irrespective of what you think of him. Maresca has to stop his high line to avoid red cards in defenses. Okay, let's look at how many. Okay, two. You could say we're down to, but no, but that Chalobah's case, nah, the high line wasn't the problem. I think you should. You should maybe take your time to go look at the area on the pitch where Chalobah went for the header, uh, didn't get it, and then no, I think in that case you could argue on that was on what's his name Robert Sanchez. He didn't read the game properly, so that wasn't down to us playing a high line. No, the other one, Chalobah also. Yep, where he went for the tackle from behind the individual on the ball at the time. Down to was the problem us playing a highlight? No, Andreas Santos made a mistake, and Chalobah probably didn't read the situation very well. He didn't anticipate Santos losing the ball the way he did in that particular period on that game, or maybe an incident. Yep, Andres Sanchez lost the ball, dwelled on the ball a bit too much, and was pressured by a Brighton player, and then he lost the ball. But Chalobah didn't read his should I say surroundings very well to anticipate the possibility of what's his name of Andres Santos losing the ball. So that went down. Also, you could argue, no, I don't remember any of them being down to also playing a high line. No, I don't think so. Maybe the incidents I've seen, you could argue down to us playing a high line. The goal we considered against Fulham that was cancelled, that was ruled out, and then the other one we considered against another team, that one stood. So for me, those two games, those are the you could say instances. You could say the high line. Playing a high line was the reason why we considered those two goals. One disallowed, one stood. But high line for me under Enzo Maresca hasn't been, you could say, is the least of my concerns, really. Because we've been, you could argue, I've watched this and we've exhibited, sorry, I can't speak this morning, the ability to deal with the issues that come with us playing with the Highlands, such as opposition putting the ball across beyond our defensive line, and on two occasions only, I must say, we've not been able to deal with it effectively, and that's when on those two occasions also we had Thurston on the pitch. So I wouldn't. The high line thing is the least of my concerns, in my opinion. Man, this Enzo in calm. The approach is fluid. It's a fluid approach, so I'm not concerned. But let's read what you have on the screen. Man, this Enzo in the central attacking midfield, big game is decent because they will attack. But boy, this is not long-term success for creativity. A great box-to-box crusher now, though. Yeah, he's added that to his game. He crashes the box. He gets goals, more goals than assists. This, I think. Maybe he could, but I haven't paid attention to the chances he's created. Maybe he's created enough, but we've not been clinical enough. So the ratio of the chances he's created to the ones who were able to put it away has led to, you can say, us not having the accurate measure with regards to how creative he can be. But I still think he's creative. But the way he applies himself, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to argue, yeah, he's not been creative enough. But Heston, I'm not concerned about him starting in that central attacking midfield role because the application will almost always be fluid. But the question is, we have to wait. Soon, Lavia will be there besides Casado. Let's see. Markin Newm here says Bonanote is the closest to Cole Palmer. Why not start him? Closest to Cole Palmer? No, I would say Estevao in terms of application and skill set overall. I would say Estevão. And it wouldn't make sense to start Bonanote over Enzo Fernandez. Once again, I'm repeating myself, irrespective of what you think of him. If we do that, uh, we the Liverpool will run us over in the midfield area. Maresca giving us a headache right now. I don't blame him. He just had to again. I think it makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, let me know. He has to do something to protect our inexperienced defensive line. I get it. Badiashile is there, but just Achimpong, very inexperienced. So we need a good protection for our defensive line. Otherwise, under sustained pressure from the opposition, would see him make silly mistakes. So yeah, I like it there. Hello to you too, Kim. So I want to hear you. You probably tell me how Liverpool are going to smoke us. That's usually your thing. I've never seen you say that Chelsea will win a particular game. It's always yeah. You always. Sometimes I get tired of replying your comments because it's always you telling me how we're gonna lose or laughing at me. But much love to you, Kim. So nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I'm again currently I'm way better than I was a few days ago. I'm not quite 100%, but I'm much better and able to host a game and speak with clarity in terms of my voice. Just go away, Shanks. Leave me alone. It's never concerned. No, because I try to make sense of it. I try to speak objectively of it. Can I change anything now? No. The fact that some of us believe that maybe we didn't prioritize our signings in the summer, that's one of the reasons why we're struggling. And looking at it from certain angles, from certain you could say perspectives, it does make sense to a certain measure. But no, I'm not into dwelling in the past. We're here now. We can't change anything. We can whine from here to tomorrow. It doesn't change. So I'm here to discuss why I believe the manager he's selected the 11 he selected today. Irrespective of whether I like our bench or not, that doesn't change anything. Yeah. Whether I like our bench or not, it doesn't change anything. But Kim, so nice to see you. Much love to you too. Let's see if the coach won't change his information. We're going to lose this game. We don't play with a particular approach. Yeah, and let me say this in Luito Katoka. One of the you can say biggest lie, especially last season within the Chelsea community, is that Maresca is a one-trick pony. No, he's not. You can say the fundamentals of his approach, those are constant, like playing out from the back, and we don't sometimes we actually do play with can our fullbacks apply themselves in a traditional manner, and no, we don't sometimes they invert. I'm going to repeat this again. The basics of his approach constant, having a single individual in most cases completing the triangles to help us gain numerical advantage over the opposition. That is something he likes to do, but that doesn't mean we'll approach a game in a particular manner. Sometimes we play with long balls. Sometimes we keep it on the carpet. Sometimes we play with patience. To a measure, the fans get bored. That happens. Sometimes we play with you can say we play with intensity. It depends on how the opposition apply themselves. But I think the biggest lie within the Chelsea community is that Maresca is a one-trick pony. No, he's not. I'm not saying he's perfect. There are things he's done that I would rather again that I've looked at, and yeah, and I would rather he'd done you can say differently. Yeah. So no, information isn't the issue. What we call this the starting structure. The application is almost always different. We hardly ever play with a 4-2-3-1 structure. But in terms of overall application, Maresca is predictably unpredictable. Let's see. Why I don't because here's the thing. He has to accommodate one more defensive player, and I think Ganacho. if you paid attention, I get it. Some Chelsea fans were saying he didn't do anything against Benfica. He was actually very good, but you could sense if you paid attention closely, you could it'd be easy to tell that he's still a bit nervous. But I think it only makes sense playing him today for him to actually keep growing in confidence. And on the right hand side, Pedro Neto, not bad, really. And just the balance for me, it does make sense. If you say, yeah, you'd be better off Bonanota or maybe Estevão Willian playing in the 10th position or the central attacking midfield position, we'd lose the ability to control the midfield. Irrespective of what you think Enzo Fernandez or how bad you think he's been since the start of the season, he still does that. You could say to an acceptable extent. Yeah, he's not been perfect, but yeah, he still gets the job done. Estevao will come back in the second half. He'll come on in the second half. Probably Ganacho will make way for him, and then Pedro Neto will switch to the other side. It depends on what the manager wants, because Pedro Neto can play on either flanks. Let's see what happens. No, I'm not concerned. I'm just trying to make sense. I've looked at it, and it does make sense. We have a very inexperienced defensive line in the central area, so he needs a two. Or we have two sixes that are able to protect our defensive line. That's of course me speculating or trying to make sense of why we have six defensive players on the pitch. All right, much love to you too, brother. You know, we're not. Even if I say go away, I hope you understand all jokes. I don't. Not again. I'm not fighting with you. Even though you annoy the heck out of me, I still love you, brother. You should know that. Lineup makes sense to you, coach. But when we lose, you run away. No, I don't. I've been sick. You don't. You have a group where we talk. I don't run away from situations. You will not survive in life if you run away from advance. Again, once adversity hits and you bail, then you're never gonna survive in life. I'm not that sort of person. I've been sick, as you can see, as I sound. Actually, my voice is. You can say I sound crystal clear, but not 100%, but full of it and ready. Yeah. And so, but that's by the way, there's another reason why I might not be able to let her in today. Available letter in today. I'm not going to talk about it. Only one person sent me a message with regards to that. But that's by the way, the game starts in about how many minutes? Let me be sure what time. Yeah, we still have a few minutes to go, but I still want to hear your lineup. Your thoughts on the lineup. Oh, and now he drops Wait, wait. Okay, let's look at Liverpool's lineup. Mamadashvili signed from Spain. Van Dijk is there. Konate, Bradley, Kakas, McAllister, excellent midfielder. Gravenbach, one of the best. Mohamed Salah, Slobozai, Gakpo. Isaac, in his last two games against Chelsea, he scored. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. So that's an excellent lineup. That's an excellent lineup right there. Slobozai can shoot very well from outside the box. McAllister can also shoot from outside the box. No, but that's by the way, we have somebody on the panel here. I actually nearly forgot that Banfordinho joined me on the panel. Banfordinho, let's hear your thoughts on the line,
Yes, Coachila, big ups
your
to you.
opinion. Uh, what do you make of the selection? Would you rather certain players start in certain position, or you understand why Maresca he selected the 11 we're seeing on the pitch?
Yeah, big ups to you, Coachila, and
Yeah, big
speedy
up to you too.
recovery. And I'll also say big ups to all the listeners. I'm honestly a bit disappointed in a sense that if you have a star player within the squad and you're unable to bring him on as soon as you are playing a big game like Liverpool, then I have a problem. Because I don't see the reason why Ganacho should start over Estevao unless Maresca explain it to me and technically he has to tell me the reason why he's making such a decision. And you don't want a
How,
situation.
how well do you know Estevao?
How well do I know Estevao?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching the guy.
Because here's the thing. I think Ganacho is very good at putting crosses in the box. Neto is also very good at putting crosses into the box. Estevao, you could argue, yeah, he has one assist, but on there are occasions where he's proven. I think I wouldn't say he's you could say aiming for personal glory. That'd be wrong. I love the kid, and I know the kid will end up becoming one of our best signings ever. But I think he looks like he still struggles a bit in the Premier League. That's just an opinion, and he's not
Coachila,
into
I
putting crosses into the box a lot. Maybe I don't know him well enough. That's why I'm asking you that question, not for any
okay.
other
So
reason.
let me put
I
it
think
this way.
Maresca is looking for
Let me put it this
supplies
way.
into the box, and Ganacho he does that very well.
Let me put it
But go
this way.
ahead.
Let me put it this way. We have somebody who is very lethal in the person of João Pedro. So even then, if the crosses are not coming, and Estevao is able to give some intelligent, you know, passes within the box, it's most likely we could get something out of it. Why I'm so concerned is Liverpool is not just an ordinary Liverpool. Liverpool is now a wounded lion who just want to go back to the top, and this game is a very good opportunity for them to grab the 3 points and also finish the game by the first half. That is why you have to make things a bit difficult for them. Because if you have a Stavao, why I like the boy is always he tends to put pressure on the opposition. He's somebody who can take on defenders. Therefore, so if you have such a player, somebody like Ganacho is not able to do that. So obviously, Liverpool will have all the leverage to attack us in a way that it can affect our defense. So you always need somebody who always distract their defense. And the person who can do that is Estevao. Why is it not possible for him to start this game? Let's see how it goes because I know Maresca is more closer to the team and he understands whatever he is doing. I'm just a normal fan. But if I was the coach, honestly, I was going to start Estevao ahead of Garnacho because I don't know what Garnacho can bring into this game that Estevao cannot also bring. But he is the coach, and I'm not going to, blame him for that. But at the end of the day, if you're unable to win this game or we can't even get a draw, then everything should be on him because you have something that you have to do that will make things very simple for you. But if you want to complicate things, that is up to him. And also, I thought that even Estevao could have played at this guy's position, Cole Palmer's position. Then obviously you could play two defenders on the wings. I know Reece James can do that. Sorry, on the right, Reece James could do that. He will play like the right wing, and it could have worked. And anytime they have to assist in the midfield, he could just go and assist in the midfield. That will just distract Liverpool because if you look at Liverpool's squad, they have the qualities and it could just affect our team. So going in with this team, I don't know how it's going to look, but we are just hoping that this will be one of the squad that can just give us the humble pie for us to know that we don't have to even complain before the game starts. And I hope we can grab something meaningful from this game.
Here's something I said you said that I like. You're not the manager. He sees them on the training pitch week in, week out. And for me, I think I know this thing well enough. I know Ganacho well enough to know that he puts in good crosses into the box. And if we can, again, if the players have good chemistry with him, whoever that's in the central area, number 9, and Enzo Fernandez, then we're probably going to get goals. He's going to get a lot of assists. And if you looked at the only goal we scored against Benfica, the rest of the wingers we have at the club, I don't remember any of them being able. Again, some of them. What something Ganacho does very well is to read his surroundings very well. He's hardly ever offside.
Yeah,
He makes time drawn, and you see that cross that he put into the box that led to a Benfica player conceding an own goal. I don't think rest of our defenders will actually probably anticipate do you can say put you it was a volleyed cross. I think it'd be correct to phrase it that way. And he has that in him. Besides that, he's he puts crosses into the box and in 99.9% of the time with intent. And my point, the point I'm trying to make here is Maresca is looking for good crosses into the box because we have João Pedro who's good early. so we can be getting supplies from the left hand side and the right hand side. And I think it does make sense to a certain extent. And I think Estevao will still come on in the second half and make impact. Chances that he win us the game. And as I've said, I know he's an excellent player. I know he scored a lot of goals. What I'm not too sure about is the sort of chances he creates. Because if you look at players that are creators, there are certain type of chances that are very good at creating. Some are good at breaking the line. Some are good at putting in crosses into the box. And if Maresca is looking for crosses into the box from the flanks, I don't really think Estevao is the guy.
Coachila,
I'm not saying he's bad. I know he's still common. Maybe if Maresca wants to play with two tens, then he'd have him on the pitch. Then the application we have two tens. You can say exploiting the pockets. But
Coachila, if you
this
look at
shows me that he probably wants us to play in a traditional manner. But go ahead.
Coachila, if you look at Chelsea, most of our games before it wasn't coming through set pieces and all those kind of things. And even if you look at João Pedro, if I should remember very well, he has scored only one goal by the head. Every goal that he scores is just like having a very good pass, and he capitalized on that. And if you want somebody who can do that, there is no way Conor Bradley is going to allow Garnacho to do whatever he want to do with the ball. That one is going to happen. And just next to Bradley is Konote. Look at Konote's size and everything. And I don't see. Let's watch the game. That's why I said we should watch the game and see how it's going to happen. Because if Ganacho is able to put in the crosses, we are all going to see it. And even if the crosses are coming, even today,
And the crosses can
Saloba,
also be on the carpet. It doesn't have to be
I
in the
know,
air.
I know, but
Okay.
let's see how.
I'm just I know you know I'm just making that point clear. It doesn't have to be again, but go ahead.
So if Ganacho is going to be effective, we're going to see. But what I was trying to say is you don't want to let the game be put in bed. Then you now bring somebody to perform the magic. It doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
This is a game you have to go in with your first best 11. And to me, I don't think Ganacho is somebody I really like. A lot of Chelsea fans were saying all sort of things about him, but I said maybe he wasn't having the best environment in Manchester United. So we should give him the opportunity to play for us and see how it goes. But if you look at Estevao, he's somebody we made a lot of noise about him. He has also proven it's not like he's not doing well, but every time he has to be the sacrificial lamb. Like when we were trying to remove somebody from the game against Manchester United, it was Estevao. The following weekend, last weekend, it was Estevao. Today he can start the game so that we will have a very good, game. Liverpool is not going to come and play things very easy with us. That one we have to be sure about that. Me, if we even run away with a draw, I will just like it. Then we know that some of the difficult games have been cleared. They are not coming into this game, especially losing to Galatasaray. They are coming all out, and it's going to be more explosive. So you need somebody who is going to distract them from attacking. And if I see the field right now, João Pedro can do it. Pedro Neto sometimes he's on and off, but the only person I see who can even concede more, infringement for us is Estevao. Because if you put that boy out there, I know Van Dijk will infringe him, Canute will infringe him, and we'll be winning all those kind of things. Is Garnacho going to bring that kind of, flair into the game? I'm not sure. So that's why I'm saying that Maresca is more closer to the team more than I do. And whatever he's
Which is a
doing,
sensible thing to
yeah,
say.
whatever he is
Hmm.
doing, maybe there is something about Garnacho he likes so much against Liverpool, and I hope he goes out there and executes it. But at the end of the day, if things go wrong, nobody should come and say, me, I like Maresca and Coachila. You know how I like this man. Even when things are going bad and I'm just lambasting the owners, Maresca is somebody I always say that he's a good person, he's a good coach, he should be here. But if this game goes wrong, nobody should tell me that, hey, you can't blame the coaches. decision or whatever. He has to be taking the responsibilities of our defeat, depending on how things goes. But at the end of the day, we are all going to observe the game, see how things go, and at the end of the day, I hope at least even if we get a draw, it will be good for the team because right now we are below Manchester United, which is totally bad. You understand?
I mean, nice Nigerians would say, I did the fear gragra, initial gragra, hasten.
Hello?
I understand where you're coming from. 7 games into the season, and you could argue, and there's something I think, irrespective of your understanding or maybe your take, your opinion on why we're struggling, I think it'd be wrong not to, you could say, consider the club work as a factor. It stretched our season into a period where the players usually go on break. They didn't go, but no excuses there. And the injuries we've had, they haven't helped, but no excuses still. We still have good enough squad to get a good result from this game, but let's see how it ends. It's not looking good for us all. CFC is underdogs, and when that's the case, what usually happens? But we'll see. Let's see. Goal against Benfica came from Garnacho. Yep, yep. And had the defender not yet again not scored their own goal, I think we have two players in the box that could have gotten to it. So Garnacho probably, because even before he joined us, and to be honest, I wasn't. I was one of those. You could say at the time, probably following the campaign for the club not to sign him. I joined the campaign senselessly, and then at some point I was like, "What am I doing here?" Because I know Garnacho is a good player. He's just was just not 19, 20 at most. The so-called, you could argue, attitude issue. His case is not in isolation. When you talk, when it comes to when you talk about Manchester United, there's Anthony, there's the Englishman who now plays for Barcelona. There are a few of them. There's also Jadon Sancho. So that was when I was like, what am I doing here? And I got off the campaign immediately and start looking at him as a footballer and not let what people say about him drive my opinion. But overall, my point is my research did show that he did create a lot of chances for Manchester United, but they weren't clinical enough in front of goal. Had they been clinical enough in front of goal, he'd have twice as much as the assist numbers that he had at Manchester United. So he's a good player, and I think the reason he's starting is because his ability to put good crosses into the box, and majority of the times with intent. He can also shoot. Yeah. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, Estevao cannot play on the left. He can play on either side, but yeah, more effective on the right. Let's say I have no confidence now. A weak midfield, weak Gusto, God help us. Okay, if that's how you feel, go ahead. Ganache, yeah, he can shoot very, very well. Estevao as a super sub, maybe that's the plan. Let's see what happens. The manager, I think, if the Ganacho, I don't know whether it'd be correct to call it experiment. Ganacho inclusion, maybe. If it doesn't work, then Estevao can always come in. And as just as Bonfadinho said, the manager he sees these players on the pitch week in week out. I remember a few days ago we were all complaining, asking questions why we didn't see why what's his name Josh Achampong wasn't on the pitch. It turns out he was ill. So we don't know. And most of our players, we've learned that some of them are actually not fully fit, nothing one injury or the other, but we just have to field them because we don't have too many options. But yeah, I get it. Let's see. Should have started Estevao. I don't see a lot of creativity. Hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong too, and chances are you're correct. But um, let's see. You can argue, and sorry, we're not using our tactical board here because yeah, we haven't streamed in a while. Our back line, Josh Achibong alone, as good as he is, because yeah, he hadn't. Because before now he was ill at some point. I think a week ago he was ill. Hadn't trained. Actually, had one training session before. Was it? Did he start the game after that one training session? Or he came off the bench after we we consider the red card. So he looked shaky, looked out of place, didn't look his usual self. So maybe now, maybe chances are he's trained enough to regain full fitness and then be his himself. Excellent on the ball, hardly ever panics. Was able to again. He was able to deal with Mateta. Was it Mateta? I think so. He's that good, but hopefully he's fully fit. But even at that, I think it's important. His inclusion alone means we have an inexperienced backline in the central area, to be more specific. So it's important that he has a good protection in the midfield area by starting the two sixes, the pairing of Reece James and Moises Caicedo. I think that will go a long way in ensuring our defensive line doesn't face consistent, you can say persistent maybe pressure from the opposition, which usually leads to us making silly mistakes. I think that will reduce that. Let's see. This looks like we're gonna maybe I don't know operate in a traditional manner, but we'll see. You can argue with Reece James as one of the two sexes, and on the right hand side, chances are would see Marlo Gusto in the central area every now and then, while Reece James drops back to cover the space he leaves behind. It's difficult to say what's going to happen. I actually thought maybe what's his name, Hatter was going to start this game. I think maybe he hasn't adapted properly to the Premier League, but we'll see. But good point there, Jay. Even though I don't like it, Loki Estevao has been better than Neto. I think you're going by eye test alone, or maybe because he's a player with a lot of flair. I think Neto's been the most effective because he drops back, he tracks back effectively, has the pace, and defensively he's contributed a lot more than Estevao. They're not the same, but I wouldn't go to the measure of saying that Estevao that he's been better than Neto. Let's see. Steve is a top level. Okay, is that who you calling Steve? Is that Estevao dribbler? And that scares defenders. Once they smell that he's dangerous, they will double up on him and leaving the spaces for others. Look at Yamal, a carbon copy of what Steve brings. Let's see what happens. Again, I would love to have him on the pitch, but let's just trust the manager. And if it doesn't work out, then yeah, we discuss the reason why the manager's selection ended up not working out against a very strong. And you could argue on paper, Liverpool should be one of the most potent teams in the Premier League, but they have not been able to prove that. All right, let's see. I'm telling you, this team without Palmer is weak. Uh can you stop saying that? I think we've gone beyond. Had it not been for injuries, I think we still do very well without Palmer. We proved that in the Club World Cup. How many games did he play again? Did he score in the final? Yeah, he was spot on. He scored. I think in the other game that he scored one, we lost that game. But in the final, he was top class. But I don't think it's correct to still say that Palmer is there were no team we're no good without Palmer. No, we're stronger with Palmer, but in his absence, we have good enough squad to still do well. But we're not. You could say something. Yeah, his presence always brings something special. But Maresca, I think he's. We have more of a team than we had under Pochettino. And under Pochettino, yeah, once Palmer is out, we're done. But that's not the case now. Honestly, we have all the issues that have led to us struggling again that led to us having, you could say, a mixed start of the season. Not quite good, not good actually, but I wouldn't say too bad so far. No, but not good enough. Let me just stick with that. Let's see. I won't accept a draw, win or nothing. I mean, we can beat them, we can lose, and then it can end in a draw. You just cannot script the game. It's played over 90 minutes plus at the time. A Garnacho goal, I hope to see that. I wanted him to start against Manchester United, but for some reason, he didn't. And yeah, when things went downhill, I knew, yeah, probably he's not gonna. That wasn't gonna be his day. It will be on the bench. Nice to see you, Matches Trend TV. I do hope you're doing well. Ganacho was struggling to dribble against Benfica. Listen, there was actually a clear opportunity that he had on that. You can say such opportunities. I don't remember seeing him miss such opportunity. The one he volleyed, the bounce on the carpet, and then I think a goal kick. Uh, you could, if you up close, if you looked at him closely, you'd see that's probably still a bit nervous. And I think it makes sense for the manager to still play him today. That will help build his confidence. Garnacho, for me, remember, I'm saying this now, he'll end up being one of our most you can say effective signings this past summer transfer window. I'm not joking. I don't back players easily, but I back him honestly. Will Liverpool get their fun back? I don't know, but we'll see. But one thing I have to tell you is Charity FC is well and truly in existence. Let's see. Need to Chelsea a dub against Liverpool today. I hope it happens at Red Devil Studio Extra. Thank you for joining the show. Going to church to pray. You're a sinner. I don't know if God will listen to you. For anything that you want to say before we call it a day?
Yes, Coachila, I'm just hoping that this game will not be a disaster. But I'm hoping at least our worst result should be at least a draw. And looking at the whole setup, I have a question about it, but I'll always respect the coach
Mm-hmm.
because his duty is to make sure that the team is well tuned for set games, and mine is to support the team. Regardless, we are still going to be Blues, and I hope we grab something from this game.
Thank you. I like what you said. Regardless of the outcome, we're still going to be blue. And hopefully we get a good result today. Thank you so much for joining me on the panel. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. I cannot thank you enough. All right. Thank you to all of you. Shanks, Red Devil Studio, Matches Trend TV. Who else was here? Shanks that I don't like. Kim said that I don't like. My bro Vic also that I don't like was here. Mikey Nim was here. NJ, my bro, was here. And we have Rich Money Makers. Rich Money Makers saying big up the legend. We cannot get it right today because it makes our club, let me read that quickly, look bad with our younger players signing model. The coaches stopped criticizing the signings with the S's. Okay, thank you. I think he's done that. So thank you to all of you. I appreciate you all finding time to join the conversation. See you guys next time. God bless us all and cheers.
Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright.